Here you guys. I'm Ephraim. This is Ben.
I'm Ben.
This is our breakdown for comic book breakdown of WandaVision episode 8. And
I'm leaning the wrong direction.
that means one more episode.
One more to go.
The finale. One more, and that is it. And I'll start out by saying that, as I really like this episode, I did, but I guess, in my opinion, and it's not a bad thing, it was possibly one of the weaker episodes of the series. But that's based on this whole series, that's still not a bad thing.
It's one of the weaker plot episodes.
One of the weaker plot episodes, yes.
It's probably the strongest character episode.
I was about to say it's definitely the most emotional episode.
Yeah.
Because there were times where I didn't tear up or anything, but I felt this is definitely the episode where Wanda turned out to definitely not be the villain, even though she definitely did this out of grief.
Yeah.
Definitely did this out of grief.
But we were expecting that.
Yeah, we were, but I didn't expect it to hit so hard the way it did.
Yeah.
And considering the fact that Vision actually bought them a house, that really touched
adorable.
me. It was so adorable. It really touched me, and the fact that because of that grief, she exploded out powers that she never knew she had, and she actually manifested Vision,
which goes a long way towards explaining why he couldn't leave the Hex.
Yes.
This wasn't him reverting or even the force of the Hex tearing him apart. He can't exist outside of the Hex.
Exactly.
Because he doesn't exist.
Yeah, because he doesn't exist.
Which I thought was really cool. I actually went back after this episode ended, because in our theory discussions, we've been so fixated on the idea that she probably stole the Vision's body and then made him into the version we see inside of Westview, and then even Haywood says that she stole his body.
So
he tells the rest of the Sword encampment that
he wasn't just trying to convince them; he was trying to convince us as the audience as well.
Well, and he's lying to the people who are more moral than he is as well.
And it makes you wonder what the hell's up with this guy.
Yeah,
Well, and what is his intentions?
Well, and that's. Again, I feel like we're jumping straight to the big surprise for this episode, but the mid-credits reveal that we're getting the White Vision.
White Vision
is I wanted to see this as far back as Endgame. I had thought we'd get to White Vision, but Shuri would get us there. I thought she'd remove the Mind Stone, and then the color would drain out of him, and he'd be like, "I'm just a robot now. Yeah. I don't love you anymore, Wanda," and then whatever. Clearly, that's not what they went with.
Man, he looks so cool, but freaky.
Creepy.
Very creepy,
and
man.
It's one of those things, again, where it works better on screen than it ever worked in the comics. I always thought that those White Vision looked stupid. But yeah, those blue eyes. And just the fact that we don't know what he's going to be like.
Exactly.
We're told that they made him function because of the sample of Wanda's chaos energy that they got on the drone. But does that mean Vision's there? Is he back from the dead completely? Is he more Jarvis? Is he more Ultron? What do we have here now? We don't know as of this point. Obviously we don't know. And then it surprises me more because
can they control him?
Can they control him? Is he interested in being their pawn? Is he I'm assuming he's going to get sent into the field to fight some people. But will he fight Wanda?
Yes.
What happens when Dead Vision meets Dream Vision, and they have to fight each other? Will Wanda's version of Vision possess White Vision's body somehow? Again, we're working in such an unknown. Who knows?
And here's exactly what I thought after seeing all this. Poor Wanda. Will she have to watch Vision die twice?
Will she have to kill him?
Will she have to watch him die twice again?
Will she not only have to let go of her dream Vision, but then kill Haywood's Vision?
And possibly losing her kids.
And her kids?
God,
and her dead brother? Which, to be fair, she didn't...
Yeah.
Kind of I won't say she didn't like him, but she knew something was wrong.
Knew something was up with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, this is...
And I keep saying poor Thor because...
Kicking a woman when she's down.
Yeah, exactly. Because Thor lost all the people closest to him, you know, but, like, man, Wanda is not... She's not catching a break.
There we go.
You know? She's definitely not catching a break, man.
I did... Again, from a character perspective, I think this was... Obviously, this was the most focused on Wanda and who Wanda is.
Yeah,
and not who she's pretending to be.
Yes.
Perhaps the most.
We find out that, like, her powers were only hidden inside her.
They confirm that her powers have always been
there, yes.
And they've always been magic. Like, it's outright stated in this episode.
Yes.
It's not, you know, it's not the work of the Infinity Stone. It's not the work of getting powers added to her. They were always there. She just didn't ever know how to control them. I really liked... I was not expecting the flashback to the moment the Stark missile, like, broke into their apartment and, like, killed their folks. Which, nice on the TV shows.
Thank you. Thank you. That was actually... Oh, I told you earlier I was right on something.
Yeah.
I was proud of that. Thank you very much.
That's for me with White Vision. We took a lot longer to get there than I thought we would, but I think it's cool that they're doing that reference. Again, I don't know where they're going with it. But yeah, I loved seeing the flashback to what their life was like.
Yeah.
I liked explaining why the TV show motif.
As soon as I saw the DVDs and everything, I'm like, I was right. Yeah. Oh my God, I was right. Yeah. So.
That was super cute. Heartbreaking, of course.
Very much so.
But it's also kind of neat to have Wanda be the reason they survived. Like, her hex kept the missile from exploding. That's a cool idea. Wanda encountering the Mind Stone.
When you saw the vision of the Scarlet Witch.
That sure looks like classic good old comic book Scarlet Witch in silhouette form. Which was really cool. We had postulated in the last episode that the witches were going to be something different than we've seen in the comic books.
Yes.
Again, with the idea of Agatha's like the Purple Witch and Wanda would be the Scarlet Witch. So I'm going to give us partial credit on that one. I don't know what that means.
Yeah. The colorization of the different witches.
Yeah. Well, and the idea that, you know, it's not like Agnes called. I'm probably going to continue to refer to her as Agnes. Just know that when I say Agnes, I mean Agatha. They're interchangeable.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys know.
Like, the way Agnes said it to Wanda, it felt more like a role
like
than
a title,
a name. Yes.
Sort of, yeah.
Like how Doctor Strange is the Sorcerer Supreme. It felt like it's like, oh, you're the Scarlet Witch. This is a thing. Whatever that thing is.
Like, it has been, I guess, known through
the
witch's lore that there was a such thing as a Scarlet Witch.
Some kind of being called the Scarlet Witch.
It's good because it's, you know, it's not just a name, it's a title, and like I guess it brings more to the overall story arc.
It applies a greater structure.
Yes, very much so.
The Scarlet Witch isn't just a, you know, it's not just a title that she's being nicknamed with, or a newspaper decided to call her Dr. Octopus. No, she's
or Doctor Strange.
Or Doctor
But
Strange.
But
it's Yeah. I forgot about that.
I just remembered it.
But yeah, so that's something that's really cool. That's something that I didn't read the last ongoing series that Scarlet Witch had in like early 2010, I want to say.
2015, what I read.
Probably.
Yeah, I believe.
Because I know that book introduced the idea that Wanda's mother was the Scarlet Witch before she was, but I've never read it. And when I've looked into getting back issues, they're all cover price or more because of WandaVision. So I've held off on buying the issues for myself. But we could be tying into that. Again, they could just be taking the basic idea and they're going to build it into whatever the MCU's interpretation of that is. I like the
little
yeah, she had the headband thing.
I was like, okay, that looks really cool.
Like, seeing that moment made me think of like the Phoenix Force in the X-Men comics. And given that like in the past 10 years they've really like mythologized the battle between like the Phoenix and the Avengers, or the Phoenix Force and the Scarlet Witch's chaos magic, that's an interesting thing to move. Like, that's an interesting thing to build on. I thought that was a really cool way of
and just thinking about it, you know, we're finding all this out now, and then we've read already that she's playing a big role in Doctor Strange 2. So we should actually get to see her in that Scarlet Witch outfit.
Well, and I'm
hoping, because I actually really like the design of the outfit. I think it looks cool.
And I'm really wondering, because the last episode had the commercial break for the Nexus.
Oh yeah,
and this was the thing that was like stabilizing her or whatever. And again, we know that
when the world doesn't revolve around you, or does it?
Yes. There's a certain degree, and again, there's a certain degree of like, is the concept of the Scarlet Witch something that bridges the multiverse?
Yeah.
Given that she's an agent of chaos in theory.
Chaos magic.
Chaos magic. Is she something that exists throughout the multiverse? Was this a Wanda from another reality giving powers to a Wanda who didn't have them? Like, again, what is at play here? We don't... The scale can get so big because it's the multiverse, we can't tell.
And she was the only one that saw it, too, because when it showed on the security camera, she was standing, and then she was on the ground.
It was like it got edited.
Yeah.
It was super creepy.
Snap. Yeah, God, it was creepy.
I can't... If I was one of those Hydra dudes, I'd have been shitting my pants. Just in terms of, like, this is real-life ghost stuff, y'all. I'm out of here. Get an exorcist. Bye.
I'm done. Goodbye. I quit.
No more terrorists for me.
Yeah, no more terrorists.
I don't know what that accent is.
I have no idea.
For either of us.
Sokovia, I don't know. It sounded
Russian.
It sounded Russian to me, I don't know.
We'll call it Sokovia.
Yeah, I like how even Agatha Harkness is like, that accent.
That accent
like,
comes and goes,
comes
sweetie.
and goes, huh? Yeah.
That's really cool. Well, and
I love how they're kind of like, jabbing that a little bit.
Well, and that was something... So we have the revelation in this. We actually get to see that Agatha has been alive since the 1890s, colonial America.
They took that from the comic.
Yep.
Yes.
Apparently a coven of witches tried to kill her for trying black magic.
Even her mother.
Including her mother. And it looks to me like she drained them all to
Yes.
death. But the thing that still gets me is we still don't know how Agatha got involved with stuff with Wanda. Like, and she even explains, like, I've been trying to get you to open up to me this whole time.
Yeah.
That's why I created fake Pietro, and you still haven't told me how you got here. So, did Agatha enter Westview after it was created? Was she already there, and Wanda just happened to be caught in it?
No, she did, because she didn't know anything about it until she felt that surge of magic.
Sure. She felt the surge, and then she
felt the surge, and then she arrived, because she felt the surge, but she wasn't sure.
Yeah.
Who, I don't want to say where, but who it was coming from.
Yeah.
That's why it took so long.
Okay.
She was explaining to Wanda that, like, I wasn't sure how long I was going to keep this up, the black and white, the 70s show, blah, blah, blah. I was waiting, and then finally I was waiting for you to use your powers in front of me just to make sure it was you.
Yeah.
So that's why it took her so long.
That's fair.
Yeah. I love when they had her at the beginning up at the stake, when they were questioning her. I love the line she delivers when her mother says, "You broke the rules," and she was like, "I did not break the rules. They just bent to my will."
Yeah,
I don't know what it was. I thought that was such a cool line.
Well, it's such a like classic bad guy line.
It is. That's why I liked it.
And then the thing that I really liked was like, "I could be good."
Yeah.
And her mother going, "No, you can't."
Yeah. Oh, it's almost like her. Yeah. That's her own mother saying.
Yeah, that is admitting that, like, no, this character is broken in a way that we don't know yet, but this character is broken.
And then right after that, that's creepy. When Agatha was like, "Okay, I'll suck your power out too."
Yeah,
and
that's
just broke the pennant.
I found Agatha vaguely annoying through the trip through Wanda's memories.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I didn't like Agatha throughout most of the show. So it kind of doesn't surprise me.
This episode, or just the whole series.
The whole series for me,
okay.
Like the over the top too sweet stuff. Like I said, the first time I legitimately liked her was the like, I've been a kid once, and then just leaves it at that. And I don't
because
even know
it was
why.
Different.
Yeah. And there's even in this,
it was almost like there was truth behind it.
Yes.
Yeah, because she was fake throughout the whole series, but then that one particular part, there was truth behind what she said.
I wonder if there was truth behind it.
That's the thing, now that like she's the villain.
She's a witch.
And you're like, she probably did bite a kid.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I think there's something along the lines of just, and maybe it's just the trope of like the villain toying with the hero and the oh, you poor dear, look at all the terrible things you've been through. Like, I don't know.
Well, like,
I just didn't enjoy it as much as I would have hoped.
Well, even was it when Vision no, it was when she recovered, when she saw Vision's body. I think that was it, when, like, you know, Wanda just started, you know, bawling and everything. You even see Agatha in the background right behind her. She's wiping a tear away. So even she kind of,
well,
she felt something like
I don't know if she felt something, or more if she was just being like, oh, jeez, this is so heartbreaking. I feel your pain, sister.
I honestly...
That to me felt like a mocking, like, I mock your grief.
Honestly, I didn't see it that way.
Yeah?
I don't think so.
And I could be reading it wrong.
I don't think so. Like, yeah, she's still the villain, granted, but, like, she's still gonna get her way, but I thought she had just a little sense of sympathy there.
Maybe.
You know, I think she did.
That's...
Because, you know, like, you kind of saw her, she was like that, and then she was basically like, anyway... You know, kind of like that.
Well, that's what I'm saying. You know? That's for me, that's a, like, I'm going to rub in your face. Like, I'm so over the top evil. Even your moment of ultimate heartbreak doesn't touch my heart at all. I don't give a fuck. We have business. Let's keep moving.
But basically, I felt like, yeah, she had business, but, like, for a split second, I think she did feel some sympathy.
It's possible. Yeah. Again, one of us could be reading the scene wrong.
One of us could.
Well, yeah.
One of us could.
And that's fine.
But it's not like she was like, anyway, but I just think, like, to me, her tone was like you said, like, let's get down to business. I felt like after that scene, after she did that, she had a more serious tone to her.
It's possible.
You know? Yeah.
So, like I said, to me, it felt very Scar from The Lion King. Mm-hmm. And like, oh no, your daddy's dead. Oh, this is terrible. That over the top, like, theatricalness to it for me, and again,
I don't know. It's possible
like
one of us can interpret it a different type of way.
And there was that. We had Wanda at Avengers Mansion with Vision phasing into her room.
Yeah.
I thought it was a really cute scene.
That was a very cute scene. I loved his line. You know that, like, grief is only love.
Grief is love, but persevering.
Persevering, yes, that was great. And I thought that was an amazing line, considering that, like, you know, basically I lost someone very close to me. So hearing that, I'm like, that's great, you know, because in a way it kind of is, you know. And
it's such a perfect Vision kind of thing. Yeah. Again, the Vision's always, like, every comic solicitation, like, featuring the Vision, or, like, article that I've read on him is like, Vision's the soul of the Avengers. And every time I read those comics, I'm going, really? Is it really? And then I watch this, and I watch that kind of moment where, despite the fact that in theory this guy has limited contact with humanity, limited life experience, but he's got the depth of soul to reach out to this person who's grieving in a way that's respectful and, like, caring without it being anything else. That's, like, part of me was like, kiss, but then the other part of me is like, that's not what this relationship is.
Yeah,
it's fine if they are just finding each other.
I liked that they didn't because of that.
Yes.
Because I don't think even Wanda knew, like, how, I guess, deep Vision can be. And that line alone, you know, it just affected Wanda in a different way. And you notice right after that, she started feeling a little better. You know, granted, like, Vision was laughing at, you know, Malcolm in the Middle. He's like, I'm laughing because it's funny, yes? And she was like, yeah, it is. It's supposed to be
laughing
funny.
At the physical pain.
Yeah, and then, you know, they looked at each other in that sense. It's like you could tell right then and there they kind of started falling in love with each other. You know, I really like that.
That's really where that was such a good moment.
It was. It was
those
a great
two characters.
And watching that scene, like, it really made me miss one thing. It really made me miss Bryan Cranston as Hal. Like, just seeing that part, because I remember that episode when he tried to fix, like, the little awning of the roof and he just fell on him. I was like, oh my god, I remember that episode. Anyway,
that's great.
I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah. But it was a great scene. It was. You can tell that was after Age of Ultron, but before Civil War.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Well, and it's cool to see that. Like, on the one hand, the idea that this is like a flashback episode, again, from a forward momentum perspective, it's one of the least interesting episodes, because this is less about moving us forward and more about establishing how did we actually get to episode 1.
Yes.
But in terms of character work, that was all character work that the movie skipped. Like, this is the stuff...
That's true.
And this is the stuff that watching the movies, I'm like, I want this meat. And I understand why we can't get that. The movies do a lot of good work doing as little work as they do.
The movies, as we go focus more work on our... more character work on our main heroes.
Yes.
Basically. You know, yeah. So that's why I keep saying it. You keep saying it too, that, you know, these episodes, these MCU series, you know, it brings all these other heroes that we've only known as more side characters in a whole new light that we can really appreciate.
And hopefully, to some degree, up their profile, too.
Yes,
Again,
definitely.
I'm definitely one of those people who's in the camp of, like, leave Tony Stark dead, leave Captain America, leave Steve Rogers retired. You know, Thor's fine doing whatever he does because of the type of character he is. Yes. But I'm cool with having a second generation of characters get the step up and become the next group of Avengers, hopefully over the next couple of years.
Yeah, like seriously, before this, did we honestly think that we'd be looking forward to seeing, you know, Wanda Maximoff, aka Scarlet Witch, and Doctor Strange coming up in the Multiverse of Madness? Before this series? No, not really. Sure. But now, after watching this series and her character manifesting and seeing what she's going through, now I could definitely say we're looking forward to seeing her in Doctor Strange.
Having said that, and admittedly, we didn't get nearly... Like, I thought this was going to be an Agnes-based episode, like, more than anyone else.
Yes, I agree. I thought this was starting from the beginning when they first showed her in the Salem witch trials.
I thought this
was going to be more Agnes-oriented, yes.
I thought this was going to be, here's Agnes's journey from wherever she starts to the beginning of WandaVision. And clearly we didn't get that.
Yeah. Turns out it was Wanda's.
But given that we have one episode left... Do you still think that there's a puppeteer behind Agatha? Because I'm leaning away from no at this point.
It's possibly not, because...
Everyone's got a hard-on for Mephisto.
Everyone has a hard-on for Mephisto,
but everyone had a hard-on for mutants.
Yeah.
And I just want to gloat and say we don't have any mutants yet. It's not going to be mutants.
No, it's not going to be mutants. No, I just feel like now we've established so much Agatha being the villain that, like, I can't see someone else pulling her strings. You know, I can't. And whether or not that book is the Darkhold and where she got it from, who knows?
Sure.
But, you know, saying that being as it may, she's a very strong magic user. She's a very strong magic user.
And more the thing for me was nothing within this indicated another source of power or a master, which, to be fair... The historical stereotype for witches is that they're like the servants of Satan,
the Fly is
Satan, or whatever the fuck.
Exactly. The Fly is Mephisto. No, she basically lets you guys know that the Fly is not Mephisto. Yeah. Okay, it's a little changeling that she fed to her fucking rabbit.
Yeah, gross.
That was really cool. Even Wanda was.
I thought she was going to feed it to Wanda. I thought...
Oh, really?
When she did the transform thing and then, like, sent it to Wanda's face, I thought for sure the idea was it was going to, like...
her mouth?
To go in her mouth.
That's what it seemed like.
And, like, cast some sort of spell on Wanda through the imbibing of it. I was like, oh, no!
Like some sort of mind control type of...
Something. Like, that would take us in her mind, or it would transform her, or do something. That would have been super gross. I'm glad they didn't do that. Because, oh, God. But, yeah, And admittedly, like... When they did the thing to Agatha and she was like, I'm not a witch, I'm just a normal victim like everybody else. Like, that totally threw me off the set. Like I said, I think I said in a breakdown of that episode, I was like, I don't think she's Agatha Harkness. And then boom, next episode they were like, it's Agatha Harkness.
Agatha Harkness. So, like, lovely to finally meet you, dear.
Clearly I don't know how to read the
everything.
Room. Oh, clearly I don't know how to read the room on that one. But, like, you know, if they're still going with the idea that maybe Mephisto is, like, way behind her actions... I don't feel like he's involved with her actions here. Like,
maybe not.
It would
maybe
be the most
like,
tangential of connections.
Yes,
I feel like.
As in, like, it's a possibility that he has his own intentions without her even knowing it.
Yeah. Like, maybe she is acting... Again, maybe the fact that she is a witch is due to Mephisto or his influence, but she's not acting under orders type of thing.
Or even Dormammu found a way out of the dark world.
And again, you know, Dormammu promised he would leave our world alone. He didn't promise agents wouldn't affect our reality in any way. There's magical legal loopholes you could go to if you wanted to.
And then
We had that. And then we had the sword scene.
Yes.
Which, like, on the one hand, Haywood was a lot kinder than I thought he would have been.
He was a lot kinder to her.
I will also say that he was way more of a dick than he needed to be.
I agree.
Like, there's so much of
this freaking dude is very up and down because when
he does not know how to read a room.
No, when you first get introduced to Haywood in the series, he's giving mad props to Monica Rambeau. So you're like, okay. Even when she's like Director Haywood, he's like acting director.
Yeah.
So
he's like, I'm not that big a deal.
I'm not that big of a deal. Yeah, exactly. But then throughout the series, then you're like, oh, man, this guy's a douchebag. Yeah. Like, he gave her props, and then, like, a few episodes later, he completely puts down the relationship of her and Darcy and Agent Woo. You know, which one's the best friend that, you know, like...
Which one's the plucky best friend?
Yeah, the plucky best friend.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you really... Yeah, you want to punch him in the... You know, that's why I love Darcy's line, hey, it's the guy with the murder squad who almost got killed by his own murder squad. Yeah, like, you know...
He keeps bumbling... I don't say bumbling because he's put in charge of these situations, but, like, he keeps... sticking his dick into situations that are outside of his control and then tries to control them and admittedly, again, from a meta sense, we're familiar with comic books and these kind of stories. That generally doesn't end well for the guy whose dick's in the way. Like,
I wouldn't be surprised that and we went back to saying, like, can they control White Vision? Can they not? I wouldn't be surprised if, like, White Vision wakes up and basically just fucking crushes his throat.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah, especially if they're going to go with the idea that he's more android than he is person in this form. And classically in comics, White Vision doesn't have access to the emotions that Vision normally has. You know, will they go that route? We don't know yet. We didn't see enough. It would be really interesting to have him just, like, he doesn't even say anything. Like, it would be interesting if he was just like, you need to go take care of Wanda Maximoff, and he just, like, floats into the dome, beelines it through Westview,
or when he
goes to Wanda and just grabs her by the throat, and he's just, like, squeezing the life out of her.
Because she's going to be shocked to see White Vision.
She's going to be fucking so scared, because she's going to expect him to be Vision.
That could be it, and then, like, Copy Vision, that's when he comes.
Yeah. Let's get some Vision. Vision.
Copy Vision comes, action. Monica Rambeau shows up, so then that's when we have this showdown of them facing Copy Vision while facing Agatha Hart. Oh man, so much. Man, I really hope they're able to just. This better be an hour. That's all I have to say. I don't know.
Do you think if Monica looks at Copy Vision with her Spectrum Vision, she'll see his energy form?
Yeah, it's possible.
Whereas if she looks at White Vision, she'll see, like, the android body, or maybe like that was the one thing that annoyed me with White Vision is Haywood confirmed when they did the briefing after Monica came back from Westview that it's been 9 days since Wanda took the Vision's body. They put him back together in 9 days?
9 days?
Like,
man, he was really taking up, man.
You've got some Shuri level techs in that lab, and, like, I don't know. Like, I don't know, man.
Oh, look how long it took them to... Well, how long did it take them to pull them apart?
I mean, it's always easier to break something than to put something
together, like, you know. But
we've built Gundam models.
yeah, good point.
But yeah, that was
possible.
And that was something I saw online. This particular episode of WandaVision gave John Byrne a creator credit in the credits, because there was a scene in, I think it was West Coast Avengers, where the Vision was literally taken apart and, like, splayed out on, like, several tables. And it's not a scene for scene match, but it's clearly influenced by John Burns'
inspired
issue.
by that scene.
And what a creepy scene!
It's
like,
very creepy.
That was the moment,
especially when she, you know.
But how, like,
she couldn't feel him.
It was her realizing that she couldn't feel him and that he was dead, and that, I know it's such a dick thing, but knowing that Haywood at least saw the wisdom in letting her check. Yeah. Because he could have just been like, shoot her. He knew. And it didn't work.
Like, he had other intentions, but like, he was, you know, he thought to himself, well, maybe her seeing him this way, that would be it. Yeah. You know, which basically it was.
And in his defense, it worked. He wanted her gone. It did work. She scanned for a mind. She didn't feel him. It broke my heart.
Yes, broke mine.
And then she left.
And that's when she saw the note in the car.
Well, I think she probably had the note
Oh yeah.
Like I don't think that showed up out of nowhere.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sure she. Oh yeah. I'm sure she had it.
But I would think because her idea.
Oh yeah, because she followed the map.
Yeah, and her idea going to. I feel like her idea going to Sword was, I'll get the body, I'll go wherever the Vision had been leading me,
possibly burying him there,
and possibly bury him there.
Yeah, where the heart was.
Yeah. And when she saw what it was meant to be, and what he had hoped this was going to be, and then realized that he was gone.
Yeah, she didn't know what it was until she got there, and that's her reaction was, and she saw the structure of the house, the foundation, and that's when she actually read the map and saw, the heart.
She saw the deed.
Yeah, very touching.
I did like that the deed actually says, owned by Wanda Maximoff and the Vision. Because, there's a degree of Marvel Universe legalese where the idea of, the Vision's dead. Well, is he still a person and he has legal rights as a sentient being, or is he now just machinery that Sword can dismantle and do with as they please? There's a legal question there that Sword definitely chose a side on, but the fact that he could, because he had to buy that property without her knowing.
Yes.
Vision clearly at least had legal property rights, if no rights as a person. Which again, there's something fascinating about the legalese of the Marvel Universe, and I love that.
Yes.
That was super cute.
Which I read this, and it was a good point. Hayward actually doing this, he broke the Sokovia Accords.
He did.
Yes.
Because I actually went and rewatched the scene in episode 4 where they're doing the recap on Wanda's history with Jimmy and Haywood. And yeah, you're right, because they even bring up using the Vision's body would have as a weapon would have constituted breaking Sokovia rules 36B or some crap like that. Again,
and he did.
I think this ends with Haywood getting arrested.
So that's the thing.
You just unleashed a killer robot on an American town.
Yeah.
Way to go, dick.
Exactly. And I know we won't find this out until the finale, but what are his fucking intentions?
I think he just wants a personal murder assassin robot.
Very interesting.
The Vision's largely indestructible. Yeah. He can go intangible. He can go extremely dense.
To where he can break.
He can shoot beams out of his head. In terms of go to Iran and murder somebody, the Vision's unstoppable.
I mean, does he feel like he's technically so overpowered that he feels like he has every right to break these accords?
Clearly.
Shit. This dude...
The SHIELD Council was willing to nuke New York City.
Oh, that's true.
People in power, the good old Chris... it's a Shakespearean line,
I know about your
decision.
Granted, it's a stupid-ass decision. Yeah.
It's wild. But the idea of power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
This dude... In an age where
about absolutions,
the Avengers don't exist, Iron Man's gone, Captain America's gone, the world needs something to defend it, and you've got a robot that could do it, that maybe it's a long shot you could fix.
Retaliation without absolution.
Yeah, I won't say I agree with his decision, but I can understand the military thought of, we needed it. In some situations, again, we vaguely touched on this last episode, I could see Nick Fury making this decision. What did Alexander Pierce say in Winter Soldier? Peace is a holding option?
Peace is a holding option. Makes enemies.
Because even he was along the lines of, you do what you have to do in order to protect the world and keep it safe.
If I give you a switch and it protected everyone, even your children...
Even if it meant killing X amount of people.
If you knew you could save some, your child without even knowing, would you do it? Yeah.
Would you break the law if it meant saving your family? I mean, there's a degree of that's what comic books are in general. It's vigilantism. Again, Haywood definitely comes off as an unlikable character.
It's kind of what Captain America did in Civil War.
Yeah. Broke. But that's the interesting part. That's
we'll dive a little deeper, but
But I definitely think that, again, I think Haywood's going to get stopped. I think Haywood's the more dangerous thing here.
But who do you think's going to stop Haywood?
Well, like I said, I think Jimmy Woo's going to end up punching him in the face, but I think that's it.
You think that's it?
Yeah. I know you're...
I still think
I know you're expecting... What do you think Jimmy Woo's going to do? He's going to drop down from a helicarrier? And he's like, I'm Jimmy Woo and I got you.
No, I don't think he's going to borrow a SHIELD helicarrier from Nick Fury out of nowhere. But I don't know. I just feel like his character still has much more to do than to just punch Haywood in the face.
See, I disagree because we have one episode left. We need to finish Wanda's story, Agatha's story, the Vision story, the Vision story, the kid's story, Monica's story, Haywood's story, and set up wherever this goes.
That's why I'm hoping this episode will be at least an hour.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm hoping.
I want and I know it's such the comic nerd thing, but I want a super battle.
Yeah, so do I.
I want Scarlet Witch v Agatha v Spectrum v the Vision v Quicksilver. Like,
I mean, that's man. We're gonna get Monica possibly teaming up with Wanda, possibly teaming up with Copy Vision. You know, I don't know what Agatha Harkness is gonna do. While White Vision, what are we gonna have? Like, how's the battle gonna go down?
And we know that spells affect the Vision because Wanda was able to incapacitate him in Civil War, so it's not like he's untouchable. Like, I don't know to what degree Copy Vision is touchable.
Yeah,
given that, I mean,
he doesn't have the Mind
Stone. He's basically
Stone.
magic.
Yeah.
Just real quick.
Oh yeah, he does. He has the chaos magic. Yeah.
Well, and just real quick, my brain started going like, oh crap, what does it mean for the Vision that he's actually not a physical being at all? Like, in terms of what we've seen in the show, so like his powers. Yeah. Again, his powers are Wanda thinking he should have these powers. Thank you, Bug.
Maybe in a way somehow Monica does stop White Vision.
Well,
because remember, like you said, she probably hasn't discovered all of her powers yet.
Well, and I'm wondering if, because so far we've mostly seen Wanda have Spectrum Vision, which is what I'm going to call it.
Monica.
Did I call her Wanda?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, back at it. Because we vaguely saw at the end of episode 7.
Yes.
When she looks into the basement, she saw the purple energy trails along the roots.
Yes.
I think she's going to discover Agatha's source of power or whatever, and she'll be trying to interrupt that. Quicksilver,
which could be the book.
Could be the book. Quicksilver will be running interference the whole battle, and then
Agatha in disguise.
And then Copy Vision. Copy Vision could be the one who has to interrupt the spell. Maybe he keeps Agatha busy so that Wanda has to shut that down. But again, I want a super battle. Like, I'm a comic book nerd. I want a super battle.
Or Wanda keeps Agatha busy because Copy Vision's busy fighting White Vision?
Sure.
Like, it's so many possibilities.
And then we've still got the kids, too.
And we still have the kids, yes.
Kids made an appearance in this one.
What's going to happen to the kids?
Well, and especially, again, knowing that... knowing that the Vision can't exist outside of Westview, because he's a magical construct. We're assuming the kids are magical constructs.
Yeah, so the kids can.
So if Westview goes down,
the kids go with it.
In theory, the kids go with them.
Yeah.
Agatha didn't seem to have anything to do with the kids in terms of creating them or controlling them or anything. Like, they seem just as mysterious to her.
And then now that we see Vision manifested out of Wanda, the kids did as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And which is interesting because of the fact that Vision manifested out of Wanda, but yet Wanda couldn't really control Vision. The kids manifested out of Wanda, but she couldn't really control the kids. I don't know what that means, but I think it's almost like once a life form sort of comes out of her, she doesn't have much control.
Well, and I almost wonder if there's a degree of... I don't know, because Wanda was willing to control everybody else in town.
Yes. She didn't even realize it.
Yeah, by hook or by crook, she was willing to. And she is shown trying to influence the kids when they're babies. She's shown trying to influence the Vision. And to be fair, when he says, "You can't control me," she leans in and goes, "Can't I?" So there's a degree of, could she? And she's just been letting him wander free because she doesn't want to risk losing him. And of course, the irony is in the process, it's the very thing that causes him to go away again. Is the same thing true of the kids?
I mean, the kids got older, and she was surprised by it.
Well, and how much of that is also just a function of you can direct chaos magic, but you can't control it? Because this is one of the things that I hate about the Scarlet Witch. Is that's one of the classic things her powers do. Is you'd get a fight scene and a super fast character would be running at her, and she would cast a spell, but she wouldn't know what the effect would be, and the ground would lift up, or a water main would burst and sweep them away, or a building would collapse at them. It was always a random event.
Yeah.
So the idea was something happened, and then something happens.
Wanda didn't even know she could do all this.
And it could be a degree of having cast the spells that created these beings, she doesn't have control over them afterwards. Whereas everyone else in Westview did exist already, and so she's able to control them more naturally. The only 3 people she can't, I mean, technically 4 people she can't control are Vision and the twins, who she made, and then Agatha, who's an outside influence to begin with. Yeah. That also explains why... I'm going to... Nope, we got it. Billy. That explains why Billy didn't hear, like, the screaming in Agatha's head type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's not quiet. Under control.
She's quiet.
And it explains why Agatha spoke to Wanda as if this was a TV show.
Yeah. Because
Agatha could see that, oh, this was a TV show. Again, even at a point where for Wanda it was an unconscious background element of the thing. That was something I thought was really neat when they did the shot of the house, but then spun the camera around. Yeah. And you saw all of the cameras and the lights and the audience, and it's just Agatha clapping. Like, that was a real, like, wow, when she was like...
The studio audience.
When she was like, wow, I want to make my life like TV shows, she went all out. Wow, that's crazy.
Like, all out. Yeah. It was cool how when Wanda first drove into Westview, and you saw, like, as soon as it showed that guy crossing the street, I'm like, is that her?
That's her.
And then you saw the weird, guy that looks like the dad from the Wild Thornberrys or something. I don't know. I don't know what it is. The when I saw him there, I'm like, this guy looks like the dad from the Wild Thornberrys.
I like the woman from that 70s show.
Yeah, when they showed Deborah Jo Rupp, and when they showed Kitty, I'm like, oh my god, Kitty with straight hair.
Yeah, like, that threw me for a loop as well.
Wow, she looks pretty good. Like, because you're always used to, even in the 50s, she had basically the same hair that she did in that 70s show.
You find a look that works, you stick with it.
Yeah.
Betty White hasn't looked different like her whole life. So.
But yeah, Deborah Jo Rupp with straight hair, like, seeing that, it's like, wow, it sets you up to where, wow, this is actually a real place. These are all the real people. And then, yeah, once Wanda was completely grief-stricken after she saw the foundation of the house, and boom, Westview, bam.
She, like, despite all of my sureties that this wasn't, to be fair, I was going to say, we now know she's not being powered by an outside source.
Yes.
Unless you count her being interfered with by the Scarlet Witch, whatever that's going to end up being. But yeah, this was just all Wanda. That's the
Vision it's interesting because when the Vision manifested out, it was yellow energy. It wasn't red. It wasn't her red chaos energy.
Correct.
Yeah, and when
it was yellow Mind Stone looking.
It was yellow Mind Stone energy. Like when she saw the the silhouette, of the Scarlet Witch, it was yellow Mind Stone energy. Yeah, that's very interesting.
Which again, if we're playing with the multiverse at full force, you could do something along the lines of like Wanda's telepathic magic touched with the Mind Stone, and if the Mind Stone can connect you to all minds in existence, maybe she touched the Scarlet Witch again of another reality or something like that, and that fed power to her. Maybe she stole the power of the Scarlet Witch, and she's just been like growing in strength over the course of the films. There's just so much that we don't know, and again, it really feels like Marvel's creating new canon with this more than taking from the comics. So it's all speculation at this point. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
But that's
definitely
the fun part.
Yeah,
that's
that is
when
the
I
fun
saw
part.
the
exactly.
God, when I saw the like horn headpiece, I was just like,
yeah, me too. Like when I saw, I'm like that looks great. Like I thought it was really good. Even somebody posted like they cleared out the kind of fuzziness.
Oh, really?
Yeah, somebody cleared out the fuzziness, and so you actually did see her in the outfit, and it looked fantastic.
I'm gonna look that up. Oh.
It looks really good.
Hell yeah!
Because in the promo pictures of the series WandaVision, you know how sometimes you see they're in their regular 50s outfit, but when they have the TVs show them, when it shows her in the TV thing, that's her actual Scarlet Witch outfit.
Oh.
Yeah, that's I didn't notice that until
cool.
like I just said,
Hell
somebody cleared it up. That's her whole Scarlet Witch outfit. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I thought it was cool because Elizabeth Olsen actually complained that in her outfit she was the only one, the only woman that her outfit it shows her cleavage, and she actually, had a hard time about that.
Sure.
Because every other, female Marvel hero, they don't really have an outfit that shows cleavage.
They're pretty. I mean, Scarlet Witch, not Scarlet Witch. Black Widow had some.
Black Widow had
some low zips on
she
that
kind of
Black
had the
Widow
low
outfit
zips on that thing.
Yeah, but definitely
that's true.
they have been way less sexualized in the MCU films than they've been in the
So
comic
I feel
books.
now this outfit was them. This new outfit was them respecting her wishes.
Oh,
so
nice.
she's like, she's complete. She has that. She's completely covered up. It's around her neck and everything. It's all red. But she has this really cool. The way it's designed, the chest piece and everything. It honestly, to me, it looks a little bit like taken from Vision's chest piece design.
That wouldn't
in
surprise
a way.
me.
Yeah, so I think it looks really cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I really and the fact that she doesn't have the cape, but she has kind of like the kind of cape sort of part at the very bottom.
The like coat thing.
Yeah, the coat thing at the bottom. Yeah, it goes
coat
from
cape?
Yeah, the coat cape thing. I think looks really cool.
That's
I think.
Don't worry, folks. I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, you'll find it.
Assuming I can find it.
I think it looks great.
If you don't want to look at it, skip this portion of the video or whatever. I'm gonna drop it in here.
Yeah, I think the outfit looks great.
I gotta see this.
Yeah, and that's also why if she does end up wearing the outfit in the Doctor Strange sequel, like I think it's gonna look really cool. I really do.
Oh, that's gonna be fantastic.
Yeah,
oh,
I think it's gonna be great.
Oh, that's dope.
Real quick, speaking of Doctor Strange, so I'm sure a lot of people read an interview with Paul Bettany, and Paul Bettany saying that there's gonna possibly be a surprise surprise appearance in the finale, and Paul Bettany said that this was an actor that he's always wanted to work with. So I just told you this earlier, and a lot of people, of course, are speculating because Wanda is going to be in the Doctor Strange movie that the actor is Benedict Cumberbatch. Because you go back to Infinity War and they never shared a scene together.
Yeah.
Never shared a scene together. So I don't believe that they filmed anything together, so they never saw each other. Then they never worked with each other. So I feel that that's who Paul Bettany is talking about. Now, Grant, I'm not saying they're both British. I'm not saying that's a reason why he's looking forward to working with him.
Maybe he's looking forward to work with Benedict Cumberbatch because he's a good actor.
Because he's a good actor, yes, exactly. That he's a good actor. So I feel that Benedict Cumberbatch, Doctor Strange will possibly be the cameo, as I'm sure a lot of us have guessed. Yeah. Many of us have guessed in the finale.
I feel like as soon as they were like, oh, Wanda's going to play a big role in Doctor Strange 2, everybody was like, WandaVision Doctor Strange?
Yes. And I feel, because we all know, Doctor Strange, he said it in Infinity War, when Tony Stark was like, oh, what do? Make balloon animals and shit? And Strange was like, no, protect your reality, douchebag. And this is basically Wanda, been reality. Now we know she has chaos magic, which...
Confirmed.
Finally. Doctor Strange has something to do with a lot of magic. He's the Sorcerer Supreme.
And again, if the Scarlet Witch is a role akin to the Sorcerer Supreme...
Yes, and it's possible he might know about it.
And if she's taking on that mantle... then she's going to be much more impactful,
important
on the magic part of the Marvel Universe than just a girl doing hand motions at people and making them sad all the time.
Yes. Yeah. Plus the fact that if the book that Agatha Harkness has in her basement is truly the Darkhold, and it's possibly a book that was missing from the Sanctum Sanctorum, and all this time they were probably wondering
who's got it,
who the hell's got it. So it's possible all that magic could lead him there.
Sure.
Well, what the hell's taking so long? I don't know, but so I feel like the whole Doctor Strange thing having to do with magic, the Darkhold possibly being, like a lot of people are saying, the book that's missing from the Sanctum Sanctorum, or somehow basically what comes down to it is it's magic, chaos magic. Doctor Strange is a Sorcerer Supreme. And like a lot of people's theories, including ours, we feel that, he could probably be the surprise cameo in the finale, and that could lead possibly into Doctor Strange or even Spider-Man 3. Who knows? I
like the idea that the cameo is going to be Paul Bettany meeting Paul Bettany as two different versions of the Vision. And hasn't he, who would,
what? That could be so Paul Bettany.
It would be exactly like Paul Bettany's sense of humor to be like,
I never thought of that.
This guy's a great actor, and I've never had an opportunity to work with him before. And it's him That was when I got up this morning. I had a text from my friend Ricardo, and he's like, "I've got a WandaVision theory. I got to share with you once you watch the ep." So watch the ep, and that's he was like, apparently this is a common thing online, but I think it could be this, and I'm like, I'd love it. This whole show has been Marvel trolling the audience.
Yeah,
like, it has. Pedro, and what perfect troll thing, like response could Paul Bettany have done than been like, I want to act with myself. Like,
yeah, I've always this actor I've wanted to work with for a long time ends up being himself.
I would love that.
That sounds like so Paul Bettany.
That would be perfect.
Yeah, that sounds great. You know, there's a little video on YouTube where I believe it's filming Civil War. It's Paul Bettany, and he's taking off his Vision makeup. It's kind of behind the scenes, and somebody's recording it, and he's taking it off, and he rips it off, and you can tell he's kind of like exhausted, not put out, but a little exhausted. He rips one off, and he throws it in the air, and you could hear somebody, and I knew as soon as somebody said it was Mark Ruffalo, and like you see a piece of his skin, and all of a sudden you hear Mark Ruffalo go, "Holy shit, it's Ewan McGregor!" And all of a sudden, Paul Bettany, he just busts out laughing. And then you can hear the crowd laughing. He was like, "Holy shit." He says it again. He's like, "Holy shit, it's Ewan McGregor." And then Paul Bettany starts laughing, and then the video ends. It's a really short video.
That's great.
I watched it a while back, a few months ago, but I came across it again on YouTube. I was watching YouTube, and I must have watched it like 10 times.
That's so
good. Because it's like a 15-second video.
Yeah, why not?
But it's just... like, as soon as you hear the voice, you can tell it's Mark Ruffalo saying it. Because it comes out of nowhere. Because he's taking off the makeup, and he kind of throws it in the air, the little piece. And out of nowhere, you just hear Mark Ruffalo, "Holy shit, it's Ewan McGregor." And then Paul Bettany just loses it, you know? Awesome. It's great. It's great, man. I'll show it to you right after.
It's, I didn't...
But were you saying, like, Paul Bettany want to work with Paul Bettany? It reminded me of that video.
At the end, when they did the White Vision reveal, just a small thing that I really liked, because he doesn't have the Mind Stone anymore. He just had
that little...
He had like a little blue thing, but it was like V-shaped.
Yeah.
And I was like, good branding. Like, keep the people. We know who you are. You've got a V on your face.
A V on your face. That's right.
Nice and simple.
It's like Cap Star. It's like Tony Dark Reactor. You know.
I was... From a story perspective, I was disappointed that we didn't touch in with Monica.
Yeah,
but there was so much going on with the revelations dealing with Wanda and how she got to where we were.
But they might not fit that in, which could explain also why they didn't fit in White Vision until the mid credits.
Yeah,
you know, they wanted to mainly focus this episode on, you know.
Well, and I think part of it too is that same idea of them doing the first 2 episodes at the same time. This episode is the least like revelatory.
Yeah.
It for the most part, other than like shutting down theories that like, oh, Wanda was powered by that spell or Mephisto or Mephisto or whatever.
Yeah.
Other than like shutting those theories down, this was the least like shocking episode overall.
Yes.
And so I think Vision moment was meant to be that like, look, this episode was an expositional lore dump. If you didn't think it was exciting, here's something to be excited about.
Yeah.
White Vision. This shit's about to go off.
Besides Agatha holding her twins by the neck with magic ropes, that was pretty crazy.
And in witch costume.
Agatha in full witch costume, which, you know, she looks pretty cool.
And I love that it's just like straight up something out of Hocus Pocus.
Yeah, it is. That's what it looks like.
It's not even like, here's a modern take on what a witch would look like in 2020. Yeah. Like, no, it's just a witch costume.
I liked when in episode 7, when the theme song first started, you saw a little glimpse of the outfit. Yeah, I thought that was cool.
That was really cool.
And then you fully see it at the end of episode 8.
That's, this episode, perhaps more than any other, there was one shot of Agatha, because we got a lot more like headshots than we've got previously.
Yeah.
And her brooch sure looks like it has like a scythe.
It does. It looks kind of like a Reaper scythe too.
And I'm wondering if
Grim Reaper.
Well, and that was, you know, because we pointed out in the show the Grim Reaper,
the helmet
mask
at the beginning
of episode 2.
Yes. The animated.
So, you know, everybody's been like, are we going to see Wonder Man? Are we going to see the Grim Reaper, Simon and Eric Williams? And at this point, I definitely don't think so. But I almost wonder if that was more just an allusion towards death being a specter. Like, the house... Because, again, it was in the house. This house is built on death.
Yes.
On somebody dying.
Very creepy.
I almost wonder if it was more just meant to be
a symbolic nod. Look how many witches she killed.
Yeah.
So, yeah. She killed her own mother.
Yeah.
She's wearing the brooch of her mother.
Yeah.
Like, Yeah, who was, I guess, the head witch?
Well, and that's in the comics. There's a group of characters called the Salem Seven, and it's 7 superpowered witches. Again, I've never read the comics that feature them, so I'm not familiar. And even when I thought about it, was after the episode, but I was like, were there 7 witches? And then Agatha? Is she like the outsider witch?
That's possible.
But I didn't pay attention.
I didn't.
Do you think you have anything left? I feel like
that's a pretty good recap. I feel like we pretty much covered everything.
All right. Do we want to wrap this up? Do you want to outro us since you introed us, or flip it over my way?
Let's flip it over.
Let's flip it over.
And then next week you intro us, and I'll outro us.
You got it. Well, in that case, that's pretty much everything we have on this episode. Again, a quieter one. Building towards our big finale.
Yes.
Looking forward to that. Lots of cool stuff. Again, man, White Vision. It's gonna be super. Anyways, it's gonna be super cool.
Super cool. Definitely.
Thank you, folks, for your time and attention.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
We've had a couple people posting on the YouTube page, which has been super fun. I try to make sure that I respond to those as quickly as I can. Thank you again for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Real quick, just want to give a shout out to all the people that have actually shared our videos.
Yes.
We greatly appreciate it, and hopefully, this is just beginning, and we'll definitely see you guys next week.
Have a good one.